This is Jet with Pop Austin Media, and I got Zach Ingram, the man behind Birdhouse, the Birdhouse, in the building. How's life, my guy?
It's going good, man. Thanks for having me here.
You could put the beer right there. I didn't want the ashtray to just be sitting there. It was randomly in one shot, so you good,
I know
you good.
about keeping drinks out the way.
Nah, you good, you good. But dope. I see you putting in work, working with all the hottest artists in the city. We'll get into that.
Thanks.
I already know a lot of this, but we're gonna show it to the people for our audience. Let's start where you originally from, my guy.
Well, I was born in Houston, Texas, and when I was little, like 4 years old, I moved to the LA area. So I grew up in like the suburbs of LA. And when I was 19, I moved back to Austin, after high school, just trying to find somewhere to land and stay out of trouble.
How's childhood in LA? You get a lot to get yourself into, right?
Yeah, facts. I mean, childhood was dope. Like I had dope parents and played sports and, had a good life, all that. In high school, I got in a shitload of trouble. I can cuss on the show, right?
Yeah, let it fly.
I always cuss and then ask. I got in a shitload of trouble, and so it was just like, all right, I gotta get out of here as soon as I graduate, so that I can kind of try to get my shit together. And wound up just like moving to Austin and kind of falling into like the hip hop scene and staying in it. You know what I mean?
And, I heard you said that you had your family was originally from Austin, or your mom. Is it your mom was?
Yeah. My mom and my dad are both like went to high school here and grew up out here and went to the University of Texas.
And then they ended up doing the Cali jump.
For sure, yeah. My brother went to
the Houston, then the Cali jump. But
it's like I got a lot of familial ties to Austin, and spent like my life coming here every Christmas and every summer, and was always a Longhorn fan growing up. That was like forced upon me, thank God. And so like I've always loved Austin, so it just kind of made sense when I had to get out of Dodge that Austin was a good spot, or at least a smart spot to try to figure it out at.
What has better weather, Cali or Texas? I guess Austin, and in the particular place that you were in Cali.
I mean, definitely like
I say
part of Southern California I was in has better weather. But I've gotten to where I like the heat, man. I don't complain about it anymore. It's good. It's cool when it's hot. It's cool when it's cold. I like the seasons. I wouldn't move back to Cali, you know what I'm saying? I'm a Texan and locked in Austin for sure. So
hell yeah, representing ATX. This is where it's at now. You didn't play any sports, did you? I figured you probably didn't get in the mix of the trouble in high school and all that.
Oh no, I was like hella into football, baseball. That was like the only reason I, graduated was, I was like tied to school enough to keep playing sports. And then, like it was really just like right at the end of high school when football was over and shit, I just kind of went off the rails and like stopped going to school, got in a bunch of trouble, got arrested a few times for just like dumb weed shit. And so
ain't that crazy weed? Like, why am I get arrested for weed?
I know, now they'd have just been like, get on home, kid. But yeah, just had to straighten out. Austin was a good spot for it.
What was the first like feeling when you got stopped by the cop? Like, your heart just dropped. Would you like? What was the ditch effort? Would you try to do with the trees? You try to ditch, or you just kind of like, fuck, he saw me.
Yeah. I mean, like the first time I was real young, and like when I felt them like creeping behind me, I started jogging like a rookie. And like just because I was so high and so nervous, and so they just lit me up because they said I started running, and I was like, no, I was just out like exercising, man. And they found this little bag of weed, and they just drove me home to my parents that time, and then one time like they pulled up on me and my buddy, and we had the whole car hotboxed, and like we were so high, like we didn't notice till he was like at the window, like dink dink dink, and I was just like, oh shit, like. Roll the window down.
Smoke hit him
Shall
right.
We go
in
to
the
jail?
Face.
Yeah.
Oh man, you got hit with the smoke.
Yeah. And then I got like a DUI, just fucking around, being stupid. So, all dumb young shit, like under 18 shit.
Oh yeah, you got to get it out the way.
Yeah.
Especially before you hit 18,
yeah.
really 17, and you out of there. So I see that you did. You were an MC before. I like to say MC because rapper is such a derogatory term now.
Y'all did research. That's crazy. Yeah. So when I first moved to Austin, that's like how I saw myself, was as a rapper. I never made beats or recorded anybody or any of that. And I fell in with like a few different producer, engineer people, kind of like myself, who, you know, helped me put out projects. And I did like acapella battle rap shit with like Texas Battle League, and
That's dope.
yeah, I mean, like,
It's gotta be awkward, the acapella stuff. You just like, you know, you just like all
that's the real trenches, bro. Once you do that, that's like really like,
it's your raw voice, nothing behind it. It's just
man,
all
it's
you.
so easy to fuck up, and then the people are so on your ass when you fuck up. It's like just the worst. So you got to be like so prepared, and I like that. But yeah, that went all the way like from L.A. to New York and South by Southwest a few times, and I really just at a certain point was like old and had, you know, my first kid, and couldn't really like dedicate myself to the studio as an artist like that, and kind of fell back and started making beats, just trying to like keep the dream alive, and you know, like still be able to make music in some capacity. And then just like started getting like really serious about it. And like all those years I had like a corporate America job, worked at like LegalZoom and Rackspace, and like did different, like, you know, serious
Hella corporate,
like,
yeah,
yeah, like sales shit. And in the background, I was up in my little laboratory, you know, making beats and on YouTube, just like learning everything I could, not really knowing why, just knowing I didn't want to stop making music. And then at a certain point, quit those jobs and started the Birdhouse full time, and never looked back. Like,
shouts out to that. I love that.
yeah.
And then what made you finally like? Because I also saw you did like, you're basically engineering yourself, right? For a little while when you were MCing, and then you kind of, that's also what transition, like, did you see that there was a lot more value in that?
When I was really rapping, I was never engineering myself. I worked with different people who are real dope at that, and so I kind of played my role. But once I realized I couldn't be in the studio all the time, that was like originally my goal. And there was a couple songs I did record just really because I wanted like something to mix. And, you know, I was like getting so into that, I was like, I need a rapper. Well, I kind of rap, all right. And
I think that's what I really meant to say. You like tested it really on yourself.
Nah, for sure, yeah. For sure. And brought home people from work, whatever I could find, just to get, you know, practice, because you know, mixing is something that just takes time. And, you know, engineers that, you know, that I worked with were dope. So like I understood like what good music sounded like. So I wasn't just gonna like make some bullshit or try to open a studio just because I was having a midlife crisis and make like shitty ass music. So I really put in work, like trying to, you know, learn what everything was and how it worked, and like make my weaknesses my strengths. And at a certain point I was like, all right, I can do this shit. And then like early on I was lucky where I got bombarded with like a bunch of kids trying to work, and it just like put me through like a crazy amount of hours.
Let me get in the studio, bro. Let me get in the studio,
like where
bro.
I wasn't even really
bro.
ready for it necessarily to be working with like Dubbo and Fendi and Trigga and Quinn and all these people that all of a sudden were at my studio, and I just had to like level up like on the spot.
But it's them, you got to come through. I'm like,
facts.
It's not just anybody.
And it's like that. It's like when you play sports with ballers, like you play better. You know, if you're playing against a shitty team, you wind up like having a bunch of
bad habits.
Like, so, yeah, everything like worked out nicely and kind of unfolded like right in front of me, where I just had to be willing to like put in hours. And that's no problem.
That's dope. What program do you like to use? I know there's like a few of them, like really the main ones out there.
Yeah, I'm not a hater. I mean, for recording and mixing, mastering, I'm always in Pro Tools. Like my whole album that's finished, basically every song I made the beats in Machine, which has been kind of my go-to for several years. But just recently I started really getting into FL, and that's all I've been using basically like all this year. And I feel like, you know, everything's going to another level now. So
I've been seeing those posts. Is that what you've been on the posts? Is that the FL? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just started feeling bored, and
Like the
Like I
Chronicle,
was,
I think I saw they disrespected y'all. You like, hey, we ain't even mentioned or something like. I think I saw you say something like that, like no love or something from or what was it? It was like a top. I think it said something about like top
oh no,
rappers.
that was the top 20 list. Just because we didn't, that when the votes came in, Quinn beat Dubbo by like 22 votes.
Oh yeah.
And shouts out to him. That's cool. It was a fun contest.
But I saw that kind of like what you put. You're like, well,
But I'm always
making
I'm
beats
always
now.
gonna
Let's
say
do it.
Dubbo's number one, no matter what. You know what I mean? Like just because.
And I saw that was
I've
funny.
seen
You,
him in
I think,
person.
because there's been so many lists. I don't blame you. You were like, fuck, whatever list is talking about, and then it was we up all like, we put him number one. No. He's like, yeah, y'all did, but I feel you. There's so many lists. You're like, I don't remember which one. Sometimes on number one,
But that list I do fuck with. Trey 600, Austin We Up.
he's been doing it
That
for
was
a while.
that was
so.
a lot of fun. And yeah, they had Dubbo number one. You know what I'm saying? We got to turn out the votes, man. It is what it is. I'm cool with it.
And then you mentioned they just kind of like you said before you were 100% really ready to do, start running the Birdhouse. Really, you said they were approaching you. How did they get your name go across their radar?
Well, I started the Birdhouse and was like getting my name out there, recording a lot, and there's an artist named Joe Cadelion who we're working on a project now too, or he is, and I'm helping a lot with that. But I saw him on Instagram, and he was just rapping his ass off on a post, and I sent him a DM. I was like, yo, that's fire. Let me send you some beats. So I sent him some beats, and he was like, yeah, I fuck with these. And I was like, trying to get more people to rap on my beats because I was doing pretty good getting people to come record, but it was more like YouTube beat, type shit.
Mm-hmm. You gotta start from somewhere. Document.
Yeah. It's all good. There's levels to it. I'm not mad at that. I still work with people on YouTube beats. That's cool. But I was like, yo, yeah, come through. I'll give you, a 4-hour block and we'll knock those songs out. And so he came through and he knocked out like 5 songs. And one of them wound up being a song called Back on My Bullshit that it has him and Lil Fendi and Quinn on.
Remember that?
And so he brought all them to the studio to finish that song. And so that was how, I started working with them. And then the little trapper that came with them to sell everybody weed and fucking just was in the streets was a kid named Dubbo. And he started getting in the booth and me and him really locked in. But, still to this day, I work with Trigger, very closely. Dubbo, obviously, is my dog. And so that was like the first time I had a bunch of people coming and really rapping on my beats. And so because of that, I was like showing a lot of love on studio time, where I'd work all day.
That's important as fuck out here.
Let them come all night. And I was wearing myself out. But it was all in my crib at the time, so it was kind of easy. Like when we were done, I could just fall out on the couch, and it was a lot like this. Like it was the Birdhouse for real. And so yeah, when I locked in with them was when I started like leveling up, getting my name out as a producer, and actually putting out work that started getting traction. Like all the Dubbo shit started going crazy, and I did a few songs with Fendi that did well. And the one Joker put out with Quinn did well, and that led to other shit. And so it just started being like constantly taking steps up the stairs from that point on.
Oh yeah, because once you start that report, then it's gonna really start building up. They're gonna hit it like, hey, who did that? This is hard right here, and then it's gonna start going.
Low key, like, and aside from the fact that he's my dog, like that's why when Joker just hit me, it was like I'm trying to do a project. I'm like, come get beats, let's lock in, let's knock these out because he's so fire. And he was really like the first person I locked in with, and it led to all these other things. And it's like, that dude is a monster MC. And so like I always will show him love because he brought people, literally to my house that like changed my life. And so,
shouts out to him for that, for real. Okay, what's your favorite part of the Birdhouse, and then what's your least favorite part? If you can't think of least, plead the fifth.
Such an optimist. No, I can complain. My favorite part of the Birdhouse is definitely artist development. Like what I got to do with Dubbo, really like starting from like creating a distro kid and and a Spotify and everything, like, you know, and building from the ground up all the way to like signing to a label, and like him getting his own imprint and just seeing like what the future holds. Like that's like, you know, the shit they make movies about. Like that is always like where my heart is trying to get, you know, kids like him to the next level, and see them live their dreams. And so now that that's happened once, we kind of have some people's attention, and, you know, there's like more of a pipeline, like we know how to do this now, you know, we know the steps to go through. And so, you know, there's a lot of opportunity for some people in the future because of that. So that's my favorite part, is just thinking like what we can build, you know, if we can just keep it together, have a good run, like the infrastructure will be there where it's like always will be different in Austin, you know, forever. And that's like nothing in the world sounds cooler than that to me.
Your names be getting dropped up there with, you know, all the, you know, the other ones. Like I hear Spit Shine, I hear Birdhouse, and there's like another one that he probably knows for sure that he'll bring. I'm tripping.
Well, probably producers, he's definitely, you know.
Oh yeah, taking the lead for that for sure. But I'm saying even studios too. They've dropping Birdhouse too for studio producers for sure. I was saying
hella live ass studios in Austin. I shout out to all of them. Like we you know.
But you're competing, which is.
But at the same time, like we're just making like the pie bigger. You know what I mean? Like it's not even like we're fighting for our own slice.
I'm just giving
like
you your roses, bro.
The pie just gonna keep getting bigger.
And I like positivity.
Nah, I mean if anything, as far as roses are concerned, it's just like everything that happens after the studio that I can help you with. You know what I'm saying? And that's like the shit that's neglected a lot. And that's really like where the artist development goes down. Like kids are dope in the studio and already like kind of have their vision for that, but it's like, how can we get this single to blow up? How can we get your brand to keep getting bigger so that the labels come calling for you, and you know what I'm saying, you can actually like, you know, get a big bag and release music on a national level where, you know, shits do 1 million and you're disappointed, you know what I mean, instead of 10,000 or 1,000 or whatever. And
you're in the studio with him like Dubbo a lot of times, so you can see his personality, which also sells stuff. You get to see more of that stuff. You get to see Dubbo. You're like, damn, people gotta see Dubbo. And I'm like, Austin knows, but you like outside, like you said, to get that more notoriety. And I think he's on his way.
No, I agree. And all of that, like the name Dubbo, you know, was obviously like a nickname he had, but like he had released other music under like C-Dub or something. And there was a point where I was like, we got to pick one. I like Dubbo. And he was like, me too. And you know, it's like the red in the hair, like him being like, go on every
shirt
song.
Off.
Like all of those things are part of the brand that we like talked about, you know what I'm saying? That we wanted to like keep there as staples. Like we'd forget to put that go on a song and be like, hold on, get back in the booth, like do that real quick. And then that becomes a thing where like people in the comments are saying that to us, you know, like the Austin Chronicle, when they quoted, when they did the top 21 write-up, the first line was like, go Dubbo, like they were quoting our brand, you know what I mean? So it's like, that's the kind of shit I like, and you know, when you start really being cohesive with all of that shit, like it starts to be a thing that's like bigger than just the song. And Dubbo was like the first person I ever saw just like really do that, you know, like the hustle matched the music, matched the brand, and everybody was like fucking with it instantly.
People want to be part of something, so just something as simple as go. They want to be able to. Everybody wants to be like, "Yo, I'm part of that go. You ain't part of it. Yeah, I was there first," and then people are gonna jump on the bandwagon.
And that's like the simplest fucking catchphrase you could ever have.
Oh, it's always the simplest one.
Yeah,
one syllable. Go. Really? People lazy, so they wanted to make it, easy.
But shout out to Dubbo, man. That's my dog, bro. Like what he's done and keeps doing is incredible. And his album that we're gonna drop, you know, we'll have a release date in the near future. It's crazy, and yeah, that's
ready for it.
He's the one, man, for sure.
He is. Speaking of ones, also like Thrax. You work with Thrax. Thrax brought Hot Boy West. You said he was really cool to work with. Talk about that thing and talk about Thrax too, like that relationship. I like Thrax as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and I've said it to a few people. Like he's kind of the first person since Dubbo I saw, since Dubbo, like really come with the same type of consistent hustle. You know, like he's full time with it, and so you know that mixed with really good music, and you can get a lot of traction real fast, and you see like a bunch of good shit happening for Thrax, and the future's bright for him. Yeah, the Trench Baby song was cool. He had asked me for the beat for Hot Boy West, and I was like, "Do you want like some Hot Boy West type shit?" And he was like, "No, I want like some me type shit that
Hot Boy West
he'll
can
rap
adapt to
on."
me.
Yeah, and so I sent him that beat, and he had put like part of that song together with Gus from Fifth Street Studios, which is like the main engineer that he works with, who's real dope. Shout
I
out
like
to
Fifth Street. Yeah, Fifth Street's dope.
I interned there. I love that place.
Oh, okay. That explains. I like Fifth Street. That's dope. Not saying that explains it, but I'm just saying that's dope.
Yeah, my
like
mentor was Evan Klinecki, and he's dope. And yeah, I was there for like 9 months before I got too busy. But
yeah, you started taking over your own shit. Like yeah.
But so a lot of the song was done already, and then Hot Boy West came through and put his part on it. And so I just got to finish the song from there and mix it and everything, and then like right away that night they left the studio like immediately and went and shot that video, which was crazy, like how the city turned out for that video. Like it was really live, and you know it's doing crazy right now. I know it's way over 100K.
No, yeah, it's doing. I like that song. That song's lit, and like I said, doing numbers, going crazy,
bro. And Thrax's numbers are really crazy because he's doing that shit off his own page. Like that's not on like, you know, one of the big blogs or anything. Like that's on his own page. You know, no promo put into it, just off the strength, doing over 100K. Like that's nothing to be gawked at. Like, I promise he'll be getting label attention.
Yeah, him and Dubbo, those are up in my top.
Yeah.
What you think about real quick OTMZ? Have you seen OTMZ? Or
love that
with
guy.
him?
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
He's always mad about something, but it's cool.
But I love it. He
Yeah,
needs to
me
just
too.
always be mad. He needs to be that pissed off rapper. Just keep that pissed off rapper.
When he did the he records at my studio. His music's fire.
Did he do fuck your top 20 there?
When he did the
I was about to say
I
that'd be
wish,
funny
bro.
as
I wish.
fuck.
And I love those guys, like I said, but
Oh, I know. It's
when he
great.
did that song, immediately I was like, this is a great idea. Like Trey and Austin We Up will fuck with this. Like, and they did. Like they both posted it. Like, but yeah, no, and that's why I think the list is cool, because people felt some type of way about it. You know, it makes them go get in the studio. You know, and like at the end of the day, like the people on the list are probably there because they're consistent at putting out music, and they're consistent networkers, and they're actually like tagging and tapping in with, you know, Austin We Up, Trey 600, Pop Austin Media, and so those entities will fuck with them. And I'll never knock like networking, you know.
Never.
It is what it is. Like if you're not doing that and you're just saying like I'm so dope that the music will take care of all that for me, you know,
You're gonna be lost.
lost.
Yep, left behind. Besides those guys, what's one artist you think that, and besides the people that you name, is anybody else that's like slept on that you want to like say that yo, like I think CP Looney out here needs to be, you know, I don't know if you heard of him. That's my guy. Who's like another one that you can think of off the top of your head,
Well,
besides the people that you've listed?
People on my album, Young Jinx, he's super fire.
We've had him. That's my guy.
Yeah, that's right. He came through here.
I saw that. I was like, dang, you rock with Young Jinx. I was like, okay.
No, that's one of my first original clients, and he's a sleeping giant for sure.
Did you do Pilot?
Nah.
I just gotta ask. I'm just
He's
curious.
at Texas State, and all his new shit he's been doing with someone down there. He probably mentioned him on the show, but whoever he's working with down there is fire, because all his new music has been sounding amazing.
Get back with Birdhouse Jinx though.
Nah, it's all good. He's all over my album. He's like the intro. He's on
love
like
it.
3 or 4 songs. I manage a group called Blackland. They're on my album. They got a bunch of fire music on the way.
I saw you mention Mama Duke. You gave Mama Duke her flowers.
Oh, always, yeah.
I like what Mama
I
Duke's
just
doing.
paid admission to her show the other day. Like I'm a fan. You know what I mean? I show up and cheer and fucking woo dog and all that shit.
Mama Duke.
Yeah.
She's tapped into the youth too. Like there's a lot of, you know, youngins that be like Mama Duke. There was a 16-year-old cat worth the most that came up here.
She's got a big lane. She's got fans that come out to see her and sing the lyrics and shit. Like she's dope. Recently at my studio, AMG has been coming through, and AMG Rel did a project,
I've been seeing that name floating around.
and he's super fire. Like definitely a sleeping giant. His lyrical ability is crazy, and he's like got an insane work ethic, and he's just got so many. Like he'll record songs on BandLab when he can't get to the studio, and he'll come to me and he'll have already recorded the song, like a rough draft on his phone, and just always working type shit. I love that shit. Like, always shout out to the hustlers, because then you have something you can build with. Like, talent is awesome, but there's a lot of talented rappers. It's like the ones who really are like willing to grind and just kind of obsessed with it. It's like if you were looking for a point guard, like you would want a gym rat. You would want someone who just stays in the gym and all they do is basketball, and everywhere they go they're dribbling. And it's like that's the kind of rappers that inspire me.
You don't want a bunch of Lloyd Banks.
I like gym rats.
And I love Lloyd Banks, but Banks is that exact example. Lloyd Banks,
Yeah.
such a dope rapper, but just don't put nothing out ever. Could have been the next after 50, but messed it up. Talk about the upcoming project. Do you have a name for it? Or is it in the works, TBD, kind of keeping it secret?
Fuck it. I haven't even told anybody either.
If you want to drop it,
Nah, fuck it. I can do what I want.
yeah.
No, I got a cover. I got a title.
Oh,
I
hell
got
yeah.
14 songs done. I'm working on one more with a big feature that I'm not going to speak on, but it's in the works, and then that bitch is going to drop. The album is called Crystal Brook Drive, which is the street my studio is on.
Mm-hmm.
And the cover is a reflection of kind of like Austin culture, and I'm really excited to like put on for the city. Like this is really like 20 years in the making of loving Austin hip hop and getting to do it as a producer, where all it is like Austin MCs that inspire me, and the best music I could make. Like I'm very happy with it.
Do you have a date in mind, or is it really like you got a quarter?
No, I'm definitely aiming for the summer.
Okay, I want it third quarter-ish.
I want it to be out by end of summer, midsummer, and then I want it to be like in rotation for football season. It's definitely like upbeat music, like I said, like hustling and working hard and putting in work, and all that shit is what inspires me, and like what I want like me and my team to be known for. Like we're gonna just do that shit, and so that's like very much like a recurring theme on the album. Like it is like the part where you trust the process and go put the work in, and see the payoff.
I was gonna ask a question. And then for on the streaming platforms, are they gonna find it under The Birdhouse?
Yeah, it'll be my album, under my name and title and all of that, and then just featuring a whole bunch of dope ass people. Blaze the Artist is on there, Bo Limpic is on there, Mama Duke is on there, Young Jinx, TME Trigger is on there, of course, Dubbo, OSO Flacco, OTM Thrax, a bunch of people, and just did another one the other day with Dubbo and AMG Rel. I'm trying to slide that one over to the album, and then a big feature in the works that if I can get all the T's crossed and the I's dotted, it's gonna be lit. So
dope. I gotta just make it quick funny. If you already done the back part of your artwork, Young Jinx probably done threw a curveball to you because he going by Jinx now.
Yeah,
that's what he told. He was like, "Yeah, I ain't Young Jinx." I'm like, "There you go, drop the Young." So he's like, I ain't Young no more. I'm Jinx.
I haven't, so that's perfect.
There you go. Yeah, just in case he go be like,
Yeah,
"Hey man, drop that Young, man." I don't think he can change. He should be able to change on Apple Music. Speaking of that, where can we find you at on social? And then website and all that, and any other things you want to plug?
Yeah, I mean most of
the best way is to get booked.
Most of my shit runs through Instagram, so at the Birdhouse ATX, the Birdhouse ATX, all spelled out correctly. That's the best place to hit me. I'm the same title on other social medias as well, but I'm way more active on Instagram. I have a website called thebirdhouseaustin.com that you may or may not be able to reach me through, but Yeah, like when I originally set up my business, I set up a website and I was real official, thinking that the world would work that way. And everybody I talked to was like, "What's your Instagram?" Like I had business cards and shit, and people were like, "Ugh, like, nah, I don't want that."
You just gotta
What's your
roll with the
Instagram?
times.
Nah, facts. So I adjusted quickly.
You can still have that though. Like that's something, you know.
Yeah, but yeah, at the Birdhouse ATX, follow me, send me your shit. I'll post it. I fuck with everything Austin. I really do show love. You know, that's something I pride myself on. Like I will show you some love if you're like working in my city and doing it the right way, 100%. And so nobody can say different. Like I love ATX hip hop, and I'm very invested in seeing it have its moment that is on the way. And so in any way I can help you, hit me up and we'll make it work.
Hell yeah. You don't get that much from studios that are out here.
What do you think the scene needs to do? Because I tell a lot of people who come through here, like, Austin has, like, its moment right now. Like, there's such a huge energy going on in the city. And we can't look back in, 5 or 10 years and really have missed the mark, you know what I'm saying? So what do you think we need to do to continue that momentum and just to break that glass ceiling, to have, one artist do it at least this year?
Man, just stay consistent. Like when you really put a solid year together where like you maximize all 12 months and you don't take a month off and you don't just get up for South by and then disappear, where you
South by slump.
Yeah, where you focus on what happens after the studio. Like don't just make a song and upload it. Like figure out how to, get Spotify playlistings, figure out how to get that song to go trend on TikTok. Like make a fucking TikTok. Just do extra shit. Like go look at Mama Duke. Go look at all of the shit she does for free on her own, grinding, just being smart and putting plays together. And you'll see how much you can literally do on your own without paying for it or asking for help. And then there's some things you should outsource, but like be consistent and really put together a good year. Everybody says Austin needs to work together, and that's true. But like there's some synergy in Austin. Like lots of people fuck with each other. I think it's more just people taking too much time off and letting time slip by. And then at the end of the day, like Austin needs big songs. Like Talking My Shit blew up, and Quinn blew up because of it, because it was a dope ass song. Like Baby Grand took one look at Ben 10 and called to sign Dubbo within 24 hours. Like make dope ass music and put some motion behind it, and the money and the labels and all that will come calling. So yeah, be consistent.
No, definitely. I think that's definitely a huge thing. That's that's out here, that you'll see somebody like oh, and the next thing you know, you don't see him for me. Like shit, I gotta wait, and then you gotta rebuild yourself all the way back up.
How many people that come to my studio that either come a few times a year and are so fire, and then I'm like, why don't I see you more? And then the other ones are people who come all the time and they just have a folder full of music and they never drop it.
That's the worst.
And I have a bunch of those clients, and they could all be up. They could just take those songs that they feel like are whack and drop one every week and create a buzz just off like algorithm energy because they're dropping so consistently. But yeah, drop your music, man. Be consistent. You're not gonna blow up. You're not gonna get any motion without like that kind of like forward movement, one foot in front of the other all the time. It's a marathon, like Nipsey said. Like you run slow in a marathon, but you don't stop running.
Exactly. Keep the pace.
For the record, you don't run slow in a marathon. That's somebody
I wouldn't know shit about marathons.
Well, no, yeah, not slow, but
actually, I mean, the best marathoners run. They literally run a full sprint for 26
Jesus
miles. It's pretty incredible. It's a slept-on sport, but
I wouldn't even fathom
it's
to think of
crazy.
that.
I
would
wasn't
think
trying to take a jab at cross country.
You know what's
Sorry,
funny
man.
though? I think I seen when Diddy did it. Did you see when Diddy did that marathon? It was like years. It was.
I don't know if he did a marathon. He might have did like a 5K.
Well, it was one of those, but it was like,
yeah.
But anyway, but he was like, at the end, that last, he was dead. He crawled to it. They waited for Diddy for like hours, for like a good couple hours, because he was but he finished it. But that's kind of made me think about that, which is
Yeah.
funny. Shouts out to Diddy for finishing that. Man, hey, oh shit, hey man,
Merch.
huh?
Merch.
My mic is dead.
Your mic.
Oh, never mind. This thing I unplugged my man. No, we good. We got the drink over here. We good. I
Damn,
couldn't even
bro.
hear myself. I'm like, why you
I
telling me
helped
that?
you pick.
We good. Yeah, we
I
got
did
the
fix
merch,
it
man.
for the record.
No, yeah, he did good. We good. I would have rocked with it. I thought he turned me down because that's sometimes what happens. Got you some merch though, my guy.
Yeah, I love merch.
Got that Pop Austin Media. You can rock it.
Shouts
Hey,
to
man,
merch.
I appreciate you coming through. I love what you're doing for the city, especially like what you're offering to the artists. I think you're top of the top when it comes out here, and I'm not just saying that because you're here.
Appreciate you.
But like I said, I got to give you your roses, especially what you've done for Dubbo, and Dubbo's done for you. It's a great partnership, OTM, and just everybody else. So hey, man, you keep rocking. We're gonna be waiting for that stuff to drop, that album to drop. I'll be
Crystal Brook
streaming that
Jive.
bitch on Apple Music. I'm gonna just let it play all night. Give you strings on strings, dog. Hey,
No, I'm gonna be doing a bunch of shit for when it's done, listening party type shit. Like I don't know, yeah, I got some ideas in the works, so I'll be in touch with y'all for sure. But I definitely want y'all to hear it before it drops, along with some other people. So
oh yeah,
people
definitely.
know how I'm coming because I'm not fucking playing with this one. It's really dope.
We'll have our social media people hit you, and we can even probably do some, content on that, especially, it'd be dope. So a little listening party stuff. So, hey, this is Jet, my man Zach Ingram, the Birdhouse.
Facts.
Hey, I'm with Pop Austin Media, and I'm signing out. Let's get it. Birdhouse, ATX, the Birdhouse.